In today's podcast, we have a special guest with us, Maria. She is currently working as a game engine programmer and also building her own open source game engine. So I guess that automatically makes her the best guest for answering all your game engine related queries. So guys, help me welcome Maria. Maria, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, I am Maria, aka Sudo Love Me Baby. I have a YouTube channel where I am writing my game engine in real time, and I also work as an engine programmer at Egosoft.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, her channel name is Sudo Love Me Baby. So please go to our channel and subscribe to our channel as well. And link is in the description. Okay. So now let's start from the beginning, right? So what is a game engine? What problem does it solve?
Game engine is a very complex software, and basically, it is something that you build that allows you to help you create a game on it. So it is like periphery tool that helps the group of developers make a product on it. And we have proprietary engines, which lots of developers are using because they are free, they already exist, and people can just take it and have a game on it. So when the goal is to make a game, you probably will use something like Unity and Unreal. It already can handle graphics, it can handle event system, physics, and all these components are already included. And when you decide to create something like this from scratch, it is you have to be like motivated. You have to have a motivation why you want to do this. And I think that it is very rare now that people will decide to make their own game engine from scratch to create some game, because it is a very long time distance task. Yes, so you will spend a very big amount of time before you will be able to have a game on it. So I am just very interested in this particular like software. I want to know how graphics work. I want to know how to communicate with the hardware. And I guess this kind of task is just very boosting me as a developer, as a person who is very curious about computers. And like, yeah, my goal is just to understand how all this system works. And yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, the way I understood it, a game engine basically helps people to develop their own game, right? Do you,
Yes.
let's say I am a non-programmer, right? Can I build my own game using existing game engines?
There are there are several of engines that allows you to build games without actually knowing the programming, and they have a very big community. So you can, for example, find necessary scripts for something simple, and you can use it. Unreal has a blueprint system which allows you to not do particular programming but visual programming, if you know what I mean. And it also helps, I guess, people without programming knowledge to modify things and make some systems that will uh, allow you to have some mechanics that you want to have in your games. But I think that it is still very complex, and when your idea is going outside of the boundaries of something that already exists, you have to know how to program, right? It is just like your
Right.
basic tool to achieve this,
Okay.
even with the existing engines.
Okay. So for basic game development, I think you don't need programming, right? But if you want to create something complicated or advanced, then I guess you do need a certain level of programming knowledge to get it done, right?
Correct. This is how I ended up learning programming, because
Hmm.
first I thought that I will want to do games, and I was using Unity, and also was able to find some scripts, to find some help on the forums. But when I realized that I'm still all the time I'm crashing the same wall of not knowing anything, like how to manipulate with that, how to write code, how to check out the code, yes, how to control what is happening there. I realized that I need to start to learn programming. And when I realized that I need it, I realized that I don't want to click buttons anymore and that I want to write my own code. So this was in my case like this.
Okay. So what are some open free and open source game engines that we can use?
I guess there are lots of them, at least when I'm
The
searching
most
on the
popular,
GitHub.
the most popular that people use, right? So
Godot, Godot,
Godot,
Godot,
G. Can you spell it, please?
Gogot.
G-O.
I,
Okay.
yeah, I can write it. Give me a moment, chat.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it is open source, and you can like check the code, you can modify it, you can contribute.
Let's say if someone wants to start their game development journey, right, today. So what are the prerequisites and tools and languages they need to learn?
From what I saw, there are like bunch of languages that you can use, and there exist like web engines, yes, for web development, so written in JavaScript, for example. There exist engines on Python. There exist engines on C++, of course, on C sharp. Unity is written on C sharp. And you I guess it doesn't matter what language you will use, but it matters that you know how to use this language. And yeah, so you for sure you have to be confident with the programming skills. I mean, like, you have to know how to write code. And probably if we talk about like some industry standard, it is for now still C++. And games, triple A games companies, they are using usually C++ as their main language for the game engines. And of course, if you are willing to write a graphics part, it will be definitely very bounded with math skills. So, of course, some trigonometry, linear algebra, and stuff like that, you have to know this. If you will want to write a physics engine, it is also, I guess, absolutely different
Mm-hmm.
level of knowledges. And for example, I am sure that I'm not capable of that because I have very small knowledge in physics. And yeah, so of course you also need to know some graphics API, which is very important because you want to be able to communicate with the hardware, the GPU, and you want to be able to draw pixels on the screen. And modern APIs, they are very also complex, and it requires some time to get into this.
You mentioned Java and Python. Aren't they too slow for something like game engine?
Sure, but I'm talking about like some libraries that I know that
Yeah,
are used
scripting,
on
right?
in Python. Yeah, and they are what I saw. They are 2D, so I guess it is very fine for people who are learning Python, who are learning some basics. It is not an engine, probably. It is more the
Yeah,
library that
definitely
allows to
not.
do some simple graphics.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, tell us a little about your engine that you're working on currently.
The idea behind this was very simple. I wanted to fulfill my knowledge gaps because when I started to work at Egosoft, I had no experience in 3D programming. And they basically took me as an intern, and they were teaching me and giving me knowledges. And I realized that I want to be even better, even faster. So the best possible way to boost the self development is to do something from scratch, yes, and learn it from the different angle. Because when you work with a existing engine, even if it is like a custom engine, it is still an existing framework that you can like modify, add things, remove things, but it is still not opening the whole picture of the all the components, how to manage them, how to maintain that. So I started to do my engine in order to learn things, and it already experienced several of evolutions. I was rewriting code and again and again, and for now it is very simple renderer, and I basically trying to catch things that I didn't know yet. So, for example, improve C++ knowledge, uh, work with multi-threading. It is the last thing I was doing lately, and yeah, just basically learn how to work with the Vulkan API. It is the graphics API that allows you to communicate with the GPU
GPU.
in order to draw something.
Okay, so you are using Vulkan APIs, right,
Mhm.
for your engine. Okay, now let's say what is the difference between creating an engine from scratch or using APIs like Vulkan APIs?
It is the same. Like when you create an engine from scratch, you have to decide about the API that you are going to use. If you are not using an existing, I don't know, graphics library, I'm not sure. But yeah, so if you want to do this graphics part from scratch, you will use an API that allows you to do uh, to call a commands that a driver understands, so we can work with that and do some 3D rendering, for example. And there
Okay.
are like several of them, like OpenGL, DirectX,
Mhm.
and Vulkan, the most, I guess, known
Wh-
one.
Which is the most popular among all these? What you mentioned?
I think that DirectX is like a standard because people are usually working on Windows platforms, and
Yeah.
gaming is also for now still on Windows. But I think it is a very, very question of time because I see the dynamic that people are uh,
Shifting.
switching to Linux for playing games, and there are like bunch of things that happen on the Linux gaming site. Yeah,
Yeah, I think for now, gaming is very Windows centric, right? So,
I think yeah.
uh, what are some free uh, open source games that we can play on Linux? Not
Open
not
source.
not particularly open source. I mean the free games that we can install on our Linux box.
For example, you can play X4, the game I'm working on at Egosoft. They support Linux and Windows platform.
Okay,
So I
what is the
can
game name? So again, come up. What is the game name?
X4 Foundation.
Okay, X Food Foundation. Yeah, I think we should look at it. Okay, now tell us a little about your journey into programming. How did you get into the programming? What made you interested in programming?
uh, I was like, I was always playing games with my brother, and I was also always interested in this field, but I never thought that I could participate because at school I was very bad in mathematics and physics and informatics, and I just never found myself in it when I was a child. But when I was 18, I started to study at the university, and I was 16 when I started to study at the university, and it was very bad decision because I was super young and I thought that I want to do architecture. And at 18, I become very disappointed in it, and I didn't know what to do with my life. And I played one game, The Beginner's Guide,
Okay.
and this game, it was like a catharsis. It changed everything. I cried for several hours, and the game itself is telling a story of an ancient developer. And I was very, very impressed by this, and I realized that if there is something that can hit me that much, I want to be a part of it in any way. And I started to check out the Unity thing, Unreal thing, and I thought that I will become a game developer. But pretty fast, I realized that it is something that I'm not actually interested in, and I want to know how it works under the hood. So I started to learn. I started to learn assembly language. I started to participate in hackathons with my friends, and we were like for 3 years. We were doing hackathons almost every 2 weeks, and it was a very, very amazing like time and period when I was able to try lots of frameworks, software, and like to feel this like programming area, I guess. But I still knew that I want to work with the graphics, but I didn't know how. And I started to learn C language, and then I realized that I actually I played Doom again, and I realized that I'm so shocked about this. Do you know the Doom game or
Yeah.
Wolfenstein
I'm
3D?
not really. I haven't played any game in last 15 years. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, but this is a game from 1993, I guess, and it was a 2D game, but with the pseudo 3D space. And I was super shocked about this, and I started to write my own Doom-like games.
Okay.
And this is when I realized that I will actually stay in this field. And I didn't know about modern engine programming back then, but I
Okay.
was so impressed with this low-level attempts that it like took me a while until I actually started to learn about how the modern hardware works. So
Okay. Okay. So, which was your first programming language that you learned?
I think I was trying to learn some C sharp because of Unity, but it wasn't like something serious. It was just like Hello World and stuff. But after that, it also was with the Java for some reason, also some
Hmm.
Hello World and stuff. And after that, I was learning assembly
Hmm.
because of the influence of my friend from Hackathon. And after assembly, I begin to learn C language, and C language I learned like for 2 years, I guess. So it was a very long journey.
Okay. So, which is your favorite programming language that you like to code in?
Assembly and C++. Plus plus.
Really, assembly? Nobody likes assembly.
Assembly is very fun, and it is
Sorry,
when
so
you
hang on, hold on. So sorry to cut you off in the middle. How is assembly fun? In what ways do you find it funny?
I
When
find it
you,
fun because it is a different level of abstraction.
yeah,
And when you understand how it works with
yeah,
like, for example, basic instructions, it actually is, for me, it makes almost no difference than code in C language. It's just like the tool that you learn, and then you can do very awesome things. But I
hmm,
was only touching 16-bit assembly,
hmm,
so it is thing that I am more familiar with. I was playing with the MS-DOS operating
hmm.
system. Yeah, and it was very fun to debug and write some applications in it.
Yeah, assembly. I think it does give you, hardware access, right? Direct hardware access and control. So yeah.
And yes, and this is the fun part about that, because when I discovered that I have a direct access to the video memory, it was like a
Hmm.
miracle for me. Yeah, because it is something that we are not able to do with modern hardwares, because we have this layer of drivers,
Yeah.
yes, and APIs that allows us to communicate with that. But in 16-bit application, it is different, and it is
Okay.
very fun.
Okay. So your engines, what features does it have currently? Okay. What does it allow? What does can we create something? Certain
Yeah, like
components?
you can load 3D models there. You can load
Hmm.
textures like sprites. You can I have also UI functionality that you can use to navigate between levels. It has various of Vulkan related features. I'm not sure if I need to talk about it. Let me
Yeah,
know.
you can go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, please. You can.
Okay, so I was implementing dynamic rendering feature in Vulkan engine. I implemented bindless descriptor set pattern. It is something that allows us to more smoothly handle the resources that are sent to the GPU when we want to process shaders, for example. And I was also I finished multi-threading Vulkan implementation. It is something that when I have a frame rendering, yes, I need to evaluate and record the commands, API calls that will go to the driver to the execution. So we can, for example, draw some rectangle, yes. And this amount of API calls can be split between threads, and you can record in multiple threads these commands, and it should improve the performance. Even in my test cases, I didn't saw the actual improvements, but it is really fun to still have it and learn it.
Yeah. So, what are the prerequisites? Again, we need to revisit this thing again because it is very important. So, prerequisite. Let's say obviously we do need to code, right? To write, develop an engine. We do need programming languages like C, C sharp, C plus plus, as you mentioned. Now, see, are there certain prerequisites? Let's say certain mathematics topics that you need to
And
learn.
as I said, if you are planning to work with the graphics part and like make some lighting, shadows, all these things that can fulfill your virtual world, then you should be stable with the trigonometry and some advanced maths like linear algebra, analytic geometry, and these things, because it's all about reading these like papers, tutorials, and there are lots of formulas, and you at least need to understand what they mean. Like, I'm trying.
Okay, you have come. Okay. Okay, so
Okay.
what do you think? What do you think about AI in general? Do you use it at your work for general use? I'm
Uh,
not talking about for your, game engine related stuff, but in general, how do you see it?
in general, I think it is very impressive and a good time to be alive. I don't use it for work or educational purposes, because I think it is not the way I can actually learn something, and I'm not sure how it is in other for other people. But in my case, I see no sense in it when I want to learn something. So I'm not using AI for work or learning, but I am using it for other like social things, like when I want to write some email somehow sometimes, or just some other silly questions. It is funny thing. I
Okay.
think that AI in games and like machine learning things in games, yes, it is very cool thing, and I suppose in the future we will have more of it, and it will be very interesting experience. And also, yes, I in terms of the IT industry, yes, and how AI affects it. I think I have very uh, I have a position that some things we can't change, like the evolution, and programming itself was always about automatization of processes. And
Mm-hmm.
same way as we have existing game engines like Unreal and Unity, but which helps small companies to cheaper develop their games. Yes, same way AI is the same sort of evolution and automatization, and it is just the programming is about that. So it might be boring, it might be sad, but it is how it is. So we just have to adapt to know how to work with that. I don't know, maybe find
Okay.
our
Does it help you?
place.
Does it help you with your game engine development at
As
all?
I said, I'm not using it. I'm
Not
not
at all.
using.
Have you
No.
tried write any code using AIs?
Yes, I tried, and in terms of Vulkan, it is very stupid, and I never received any successful like output. But I guess it is also just because there are not that much of data that AI can be trained on related to the GPU programming or something. I'm not sure, because lots of engines are closed and stuff. So maybe it's why it is not that helpful. But it's also maybe a question of time.
Question of, yeah, that's the only thing. Question of time. It is growing exponentially, so it is only gonna get better. It is getting better every day. I think I'm very pessimistic about this AI thing, because it is already impacting the IT job market, specifically the front end web development. It generates good code. I mean, there you don't have to you there you know there are not many quality checks there. You don't need any. You don't have to worry about security when it comes to the writing front end
Is it
code.
bad?
Sorry.
Is it bad?
No, it's
Is it
good.
bad?
It's good for front end,
Yes.
right? Because you don't have to worry about security. But for back end, its production quality is really, it is not up to the mark, not yet. And
Not yet. Yeah.
yeah, the job market, I think it is already impacting the job market. But I think there are other several factors that are kind of influencing the IT job market, because the IT job market is very volatile, right? The hiring have the hirings have stalled, and there are consistent layoffs. And if you factor in other things like global conflicts, tariff wars, and exponential growth of this AI, I think the IT market is only gonna get volatile. So I'm really, so guys, you have to upgrade your skills. That's the only way to go forward. Otherwise, you will receive those three magical words in your inbox: you are fired.
That's like what I am was also saying, because it's just like you have to adapt, or you will just be out of this loop. And if your job can be that easily replaced, it is something that you should probably think about.
Hmm. Web development, let me tell you, the web development, specifically the front end and to an extent the back end, it is impacting heavily. But your niche is very specific. I think there still needs to be high level programmers, or at least intermediate level programmers. No, what does a game engine developer do on a daily basis?
So I'm waking up, I am having my morning coffee, and then I am usually starting from email check, because
Hmm.
I am one who is responsible for crash graphics crash related things handling. Yes, so
Crashes.
I'm usually receiving from support users email with crashes, and I'm trying to analyze them, to answer, to find some solution. Sometimes I can find, sometimes I can't. But yeah, it is one of my responsibilities. So I'm always in the morning starting from checking the emails. After that, I am working on my current task that is on my list. And I can work on it till the end of the working day without any without any uh, different things. So yeah, it always depends on what is on my list. But uh, in general, 8 hours I'm sitting in front of my computer.
Hmm.
If I had a good day without lots of stress and bugs and some issues, I can also at the evening code a bit for myself, because I really like it to do, and it is not like working; it is more like resting, and I can
Okay.
code on like my YouTube related project, yes, and then I'm going sleep. Sometimes I'm just at the evening playing games. So this is how my daily routine looks like.
Okay, looks like fun. So, guys, that concludes our podcast. So, make sure to subscribe to our channel and consume her content. She does produce good content.